Good afternoon and welcome to U News. I'm Owen Jones with a roundup of the latest stories making the news across the region today. Theresa May is continuing cross-party talks with Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn to try and end the Brexit deadlock. Joining me now live is our political correspondent Matthew Dibble. So, what has been happening in the Commons this morning, Matthew?
So yesterday, MPs voted by a majority of just one to push through a delay bill that will force the Prime Minister to ask for an extension to the Brexit process. However, the bill still needs to be approved by the House of Lords today. Even then, the EU will still need to agree to an extension. Some Tory Brexiteers have expressed further frustration with the way that it was pushed through the Parliament in a matter of hours yesterday, with Mark Francois calling it a constitutional outrage. That's all from us. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Matt. Statistics show that there's been a 50% increase in knife crime in the last 5 years across the West Midlands. Birmingham has now overtaken London in the number of reported incidents. The Home Secretary and Bromsgrove MP, Sajid Javid, is urging teachers and health workers to help combat knife crime. Our reporter, Emily O'Donoghue, has more.
I'm at Shirley Park on the Stratford Road in Solihull, where 3 young boys, 2 aged 15 and a 16-year-old, have been arrested on suspicion of armed robbery. Police have seized 3 blades in connection to the incident. Since the start of 2019, there has been on average 9 incidents involving a knife each day in Birmingham. These statistics come as 3 teenagers were stabbed to death in less than 2 weeks in the city, all in separate incidents. Birmingham MPs are calling for national-level crisis talks to ensure the city's police and communities get the resources they need to combat the recent spate of stabbings. Chief Constable Dave Thompson has since announced the city's first ever use of the indiscriminate stop and search, meaning for the foreseeable future officers can search members of the public without reasonable grounds. He said that the searches will be wide-scale and indiscriminate and that the volume of interventions with young people will go up considerably. West Midlands Police is set to receive £34 million extra funding next year, including £1.8 million specifically on anti-knife projects for the area. Emily O'Donoghue, U News.
The University of Worcester has been ranked number 1 in the UK for its quality of education by a Times Higher Education survey. We will now cross live to our reporter Esther Payne for more information.
Thanks, Owen. I'm here at the University of Worcester, the UK's #1 institute for quality of education, according to the Times Higher Education Awards. This is a scheme which encourages universities across the world to work towards the United Nations goal of sustainable development. The university has been ranked #1 in the UK and 26th in the world for gender equality. Over 500 institutes from 80 countries were assessed for qualities, including promoting good health and well-being and economic growth. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Esther. Work is set to begin next week on one of Worcester's most hated and busiest zebra crossings. It will be replaced with a toucan crossing, but could result in 8 weeks of traffic delays. Here is our reporter Claire Davis with more.
I'm here at one of Worcester's busiest streets, which is notorious for traffic congestion. The current zebra crossing means traffic is constantly stopping to let pedestrians and cyclists cross. We spoke to the people of Worcester for their thoughts on the introduction of a new pelican crossing.
Basically, all I think is, as you can see there, the cars are happy to stop. So why would you put pelican crossing in?
I just came here for an interview, but I don't know, I don't think they should put traffic light because it's just easier for pedestrians, I guess, and it's quicker if they're rushing somewhere, like me, because I have to be somewhere right now. But yeah, I don't think they should put a traffic light there.
The general consensus from pedestrians is that they don't want the pelican crossing to be installed, as it will inconvenience their daily journey from St John's to Worcester. Back to you in the studio.
Local residents have complained about the level of noise coming from a city centre nightclub. Bushwhackers has received criticism due to loud music, shouting in the streets and damage to property in the early hours of the morning. We asked the people of Worcester on their thoughts.
I think it's, hell. Let people enjoy the good night out and let them respect the people when they're coming out and not disturb them, enjoy it inside the building, but then not make too much noise when they're coming out.
If it's too loud, then they should turn it down. And they should close early. What time do they normally close? 2 o'clock, is it? 4 o'clock in the morning? Far too late.
I can appreciate how people feel if they are being damaged by the noise.
On the subject of nightclubs, an old venue in Worcester is being turned into a 7-storey and 96-bedroom student accommodation block. The nightclub Images shut down in 2012, and with more, here's our reporter Dylan Cummings.
The plans have been released by Rengen Developments. Councillor Lynn Denham described the derelict nightclub as an eyesore, and she believes people will be happy to see the redevelopment of the property. Thornlaw Developments Limited is a joint venture partner of Rengen Developments. Their director Alex Grove spoke about how the student accommodation could reduce the housing shortage in the area.
What we're proposing is a purpose-built student accommodation scheme. If you look at its location, it's very central, it's right next to the Hive, very good transport links. By putting students into purpose-built accommodation, it can free up a lot of the houses that are currently taken up by students, and you can release those back to families, which would help with the shortage of housing in the city.
Will the accommodation impact housing in Worcester? Only time will tell. Dylan Cummings, U News.
The coroner at the inquests into the deaths of 21 people in the Birmingham pub bombings has instructed the jury to return a verdict of unlawful killing. He listed 8 questions about the 1974 explosions, which the jury had to answer, including whether deaths were unlawful and if the IRA were responsible for planting the devices. The jury could be sent out to consider its verdict later, as the coroner resumes his summary at the end of 6 weeks of evidence today. A sleep-out challenge is being held at Worcester Warriors Stadium this evening in order to raise money for homeless charities around Worcester. Our reporter, Rachel Turkand, spoke to the CEO of St Paul's Hostel, Jonathan Sutton, one of the organisers of the event, to find out more.
It's the second time we've run a sleep-out here in Worcester. This year, our 3 charities are collaborating. Ourselves, St Paul's, Mags Day Centre and Worcester Warriors Foundation. All 3 organisations have a strong connection to homelessness, whether that be youth homelessness, particularly in the Warriors Foundation, or street-based hostel or street hostel homeless, as in the cells and Mags. So currently there are 106 sleepers who've signed up, and last time I looked, I think donations are just short of £20,000. Yeah, while there is a homeless problem in the city, I think there needs to be a coordinated response. Some of that response needs funding from the public, and I think the sleep out is an efficient and effective way to generate some cash for frontline services, and at the same time allow people to just get a wee sense of what life must be like.
If you want to donate to the Big Sleep Out, you can visit the social media pages of St Paul's Hostel or Mags Day Centre. Alternatively, you can visit www.worcesterbigSleepout.co.uk. This has been Rachel Turkand for U News.
New gambling legislation came into place this week, which is likely to lead to a reduction in the number of high street bookmakers. With more, here's our reporter, John Hayward.
The government has this week taken a huge step in attempting to reduce the risk for problem gamblers using fixed odds betting terminals, which may in turn lead to a large number of betting shops closing down. I met with a Worcester resident and professional poker player about how he's seen things change over the years.
I've known a lot of people in the industry for a long time. I've been playing for 13 years nearly. The card rooms are next to the gaming floor in casinos, so it's essentially so easy for people to kind of consider that route. And seeing the high street and retail parks and even kind of local shops change a little over the years, it's just in everyone's face. So these people who have those personalities or have those tendencies or even have the addiction currently, there's no escape from it. A betting terminal is a machine in a bookies. I've seen people get angry, I've seen people literally open a white envelope that's clearly their wages and feed the machine. Guy literally put 1,200 quid in notes in there, and within half an hour it was all gone. So yeah, one good thing is now that they've capped the amount you can bet per spin. It's a positive step. I think they should be gone completely because they have an intended percentage payout. If someone said to you, for every tenner you give me, I'll give you 9 quid back, it's a bad deal.
You're now up to date with the news from around the region, but if you want to stay up to date, then we are active on Facebook and Twitter. Or alternatively, you can follow us on our website at www.universityofworcester.co.uk. But aside from that, I'm Owen Jones. This has been U News. Goodbye.